How many beautiful ones may call Osiris, Lord of forever, Father of my father?
Our background is theater and fiction, and literature and art. And Obelisk is a game, and the kind of games that we're doing at Jones Multimedia are the culmination of our entire kind of careers at developing and figuring out ways to make neat, interesting stories, art, theater, all in one.
We wanted to do a game that incorporated genuine art and historical information to give it a base that would be appealing and interesting and long-lasting, as well as providing, I think, the elements of a genuine good story. We've tried to set Obelisk in places that have attached to them a tradition of mystery and magic and fascination. And we also have incorporated into it themes that are popular in literature throughout time.
We spent over a year doing art history research on this title to understand all the architectural elements of all the worlds that are being created, and then we synthesized the knowledge that we developed into representations of these ancient worlds. None of the buildings are actual buildings that existed, but all of them have authentic elements of real buildings and the style of the architecture of the period and place.
We've tried to use a lot of animation. Where possible, we use 2D animation to give a sense of liveliness to the screens so that there's an ambience sense of life in the worlds. We also used our sound designer to help create that as well.
Fire and water, earth and air, of these we are made. To them we return. Without the words of power, all are at the mercy of the elements.
Well, Atlantis is a unique world, I think. It's almost all animation. And the beauty of the scene is, I think, quite extraordinary. And I think it's a kind of different way to navigate than I've seen in a lot of games, so I think it's great fun.
I think that this game really is not just for gamers. We got lots of really nice hard puzzles and creative challenges for the hardcore gamer, but because of all the story and character development and interesting architecture and history, this is a game for people who are not gamers. We really have places that everybody can explore and understand and enjoy, much like a movie.
A big part of Obelisk is figuring out what the problem is, as is true with any good mystery, and then how to solve the problem. So there's an intellectual level as well, and you have to discern what the problem is by listening to the video, reading the books, finding all the clues, and so on.
Obelisk is differentiated from other CD-ROM game titles because principally of its focus on story and character development. That's said a lot by a lot of multimedia authors and game developers, but you know, by content quantity alone, we have 3 or 4 times the amount of story and character development than the typical game title does, at the minimum.
Well, I think the characters are absolutely integral to the story. They're the heart of the story, and we've tried very, very hard to make them more than just window dressing or more than just an inclusion of video. They actually are actors who are genuinely part of revealing the story and hopefully capturing the interest and the empathy of the player, so that it's hard to overemphasize how important I think the storytelling part of the game is. It is not a shoot 'em up game. It's It's not based on that kind of tension. It's more of an intellectual and aesthetic game in which the fascination lies not only in unraveling the intellectual puzzle of the game, but certainly in becoming caught up in the story and caring about the characters.
1 month anniversary. To celebrate, Howard sent his first shipment home.
Daedalus,
All the best pieces.
there is some disturbing information about the gate.
I
must
can't
speak to you
believe
as
it.
soon as you get this message.
But Cassandra Alda disappeared today.
Howard is smarter than I knew. Or more cunning.
Underestimates me.
I was
I know he thinks he has only to brandish his weapons at me and I
Uneasy.
will cede my authority.
As if something is about to happen.
Been sucked into other tracks, lost in time somewhere.
But I have to be back on the other side of the river tonight because... What the... Wait, what's happening?
I think
No,
really
I-
critical to building something like Obelisk is bringing together a team of people, each with their own area of expertise. And certainly one area does not overshadow the other. It's well to have a lot of understanding of the art, and we did pay a lot of attention to that, but we couldn't have brought the art alive if we hadn't had the technical folks who were able to actually create the animations, or our wonderful programmer who made those animations playable in our engine, our scripters who are able to place things on the page so that they really fit and they work and you feel like you're really there. So it's been a technical tour de force as well as an artistic and historical one. So all of those pieces were fitted together very carefully and are pulling together a team that could work together under, as anyone who's ever built a game knows, can be very adverse circumstances.
Probably the biggest technological accomplishment that we've made in this title is building our own game engine. It has allowed us to build a game that has a much higher performance than most of the other games of this genre. This also is a source of pride. It's really the 5th generation of game engine that we've developed, and by far the most sophisticated and technologically advanced.
We'd like to explore, instead of the slideshow approach, the kind of technology that's now available where you can pan and zoom and move through a space in a much more realistic manner. And certainly we want to keep working on video. We love working on video and would like to do a title maybe based solely on video, in which we don't use 3D gendered, computer-generated sets at all. We are still interested in non-violent games, but with a strong sense of mystery and peril. We like games that are based on the assumption that the game player is capable of solving the problem, and all they have to do is really pay attention and collect the clues. We like that kind of scenario because those are the kind of games we like to play.
This has been probably the funnest year and a half that I've spent on any project since the beginning of my, in quotes, artistic career. But on the other hand, we're looking forward to the next one, which is going to be bigger and better.
科学アカデミー本部より指示が出ました。私たちプロジェクトオスカーは今回唯一の女性だけのチームです。人類の歴史を永久に記録するため、過去から偉大な美術品を収集する。そのプロジェクトに女性の視点が加えられたのです。我々の任務は重要です。全員心してください。はい。ここで各自の任務を確認します。チームリーダーはこの計画の発案者でもあるドクター・レイコ。ドクターが著名な考古学者であるということは皆さんもよくご存知の通りです。どうぞよろしく。彼女の助手のエリカ。
頑張ります。よろしくお願いします。
ドクター・レイコとともに考古学的見地から収集を担当するドクター・カヨコ。
頑張りましょう。よろしく。
セキュリティを担当するマイコと助手のミキ。
安全のため私たちの指示には必ず従ってください。よろしくお願いします。
最後にタイムゲート開発チームからドクターリエとドクターマイが参加します。お二人にはタイムゲートが及ぼす影響について注意してもらいます。
今回のようなミッションにタイムゲートを使用するのは初めてです。どんな小さなトラブルも逃さず必ず報告してください。皆さんよろしく。
皆さんの安全のためです。
はい、
本日がデイ0、今日からスタートです。最後に歴史を変えるような行動は決してしないように注意してください。
はい、
それでは成功を祈っています。緊急事態です。タイムゲートが暴走、時空間に大きな歪みが出ています。直ちにゲートを閉鎖して帰還しなさい。直ちに帰還しなさい。
ねえ、不思議よね。古いものなのに時の隔たりを感じさせないこの美しさ。美しいものは永遠の時を生きるのよ。今日はどうもありがとう。わざわざ来ていただいたのは他でもない。あなたもご存知の事件、その解決をお願いしたいの。古代エジプトのセティ2世の黄金像はカイロの博物館から消え、その他にも世界中の貴重な美術品が消えているこの不思議な事件。実は古代エジプトの美術品が一番多いことはご存じないわよね。どうやら鍵はエジプトにあるようだわ。あ、この件では現地の研究者が突然消えたりする事件も起きてるらしいわ。あなたも気をつけてね。今日はこれまで。あなたは早速エジプトへ飛んで。私はこれからインカの美術品オークションに出かけますので。うちは代々美術を愛する家系なのよ。他に何かご質問は？新人のあなたにとって大変な任務だと思うけれど、せいぜい頑張って。
Finish your work, Dr. Howard?
I'm a long way from finished. I need more time. Much more.
There is no more time. Daedalus explained it all, remember?
The problem with you, Roma, is you have no imagination. Of all the others, I could have used your help. It's a pity, but there it is. As for the others, there is no one else now. They are all gone.
Gone?
Yes. All of them. And now, it's your turn.
Wait! Listen, Howard. Just for a moment. Forget the collection. The reconstruction. Forget the gold. We've got to find them. Get them back. Perhaps if we were
You waste your time and mine worrying about very unimportant matters. They are gone, and so are you.
Akhenaten. The heretic, a visionary or a madman. Strange how time seems to interconnect when you stand in the presence of something so unimaginably old, looking so very present. Well, now we come to the reason I've sent for you. You've heard of our losses, of course. We're not the only ones. Every museum has had the same thing happen. Paris, Cairo, Rome, you name it. Things which could not possibly be removed have vanished from locked cases. The most advanced security systems in the world never uttered a beep. Michelangelo's Pieta disappears from the middle of the Vatican. And the treasures of Tutankhamun, not even a gold pinky ring left. The greatest masterpieces of history of humankind are gone. Now, here is the crux of the matter. We have a dig underway at Abydos. Something's going on down there. Reports of strange sightings from the ruins of the Osiris temple. Workmen quitting, disappearing. And they found a gold Seti I statuette half buried in the sand. It had disappeared from the Cairo Museum. I want you to go to Abydos, unofficially of course, and see if you can find any link with these appalling thefts. Oh, good Lord, I'm late for a meeting with the director of the Louvre. I know I can count on your discretion, but be careful. Be very careful.
私の名はネフェルティティ、永遠の支配者オシリス様、天国の母イシス様、そしてその息子ホルス様に仕えし者。ここは神に捧げられた聖なる地。あなたはここで何をしているんですか？ここは平安の心の持ち主のみがとどまることを許されるのです。ここにとどまりたいのなら、神を冒涜する者が盗んでいったスカラベのお守りを探し出し、ホルス様を司った鷹の像に戻すのです。その時、偉大な神オシリス様はあなたを迎え入れることでしょう。私はネフェルティティ、時の流れをさまよう者。
Beware. This is sacred ground, dedicated to Osiris, Lord of Forever, Isis, Mother of Heaven, and Horus, the Beautiful One. Only those who come in peace may enter. What is it that you seek? Osiris sees the hearts of all weighed against the feather of truth. If you would pass, then go to the great court, where Horus, the Beautiful One, is enthroned. Search, find the scarab amulet, stolen by the last traveler, and restore it to Horus.
Nefertare, even as you read this letter, I am dying, and soon you will have inherited the sacred obligations of priestess to Osiris, Isis, and Horus. My time is short, and it is a grief to me that I have not yet communicated to you the secrets of the temple. I have left a record for you, but even as I speak, they search for it to destroy all knowledge of what they have done. Be careful. The ban of Akhenaten, which has left us alone here unprotected, will leave you without any friend now that I am gone. Be faithful, and Osiris, the Great One, will be with you, and Isis will protect you. There is great danger. Menet.
Horus has judged. Because you returned the amulet to Horus the Beautiful One, you shall pass into the sanctuary. Had you succumbed to the lure of gold and kept the amulet, the poison of Seth would have overwhelmed your soul, and the secrets of Osiris would have been closed to you.
永遠の支配者オシリス様は、あなたの心臓が真実の羽マートより軽いと判断されました。よってあなたは神殿のすべての秘密を知ることを許されました。もしあなたが黄金の魅力に誘惑され、お守りを我が物としていたら、あなたの魂はセトの毒を浴びていたでしょう。オシリス様はあなたに託されました。この聖なる地を冒涜するすべてのものから守ってくれること。神殿の秘密を知るには数多くの試練が待ち受けていることでしょう。その試練を乗り越えるのです。
Beneath the arms of Osiris lies the dark way. Beneath the arms of Osiris lies the dark way. Fire and water, earth and air, of these we are made. To them we return. Without the words of power, all are at the mercy of the elements. The labyrinth. Once a place of sacred mysteries, they have filled it with danger and voices of death. I have watched them carrying things from the river, stolen things. They have looted our land and our dead. They have committed sacrilege. Surely the God of everlasting will be avenged on these nameless ones.
神を冒涜する者たちは川向こうのラビリントスを占拠しました。かつては神聖なる地であったところに、彼らは危険と死を持ち込み、ラビリントスの永遠の部屋を汚しました。しかし、そこにあなたが求めるものがあるはずです。
Within the chamber of eternity, great Isis waits. But she will speak only to those who know the signs of gold. When she speaks, search your heart for answers, for only then may you pass through the corridor of the guardians and enter into forever.
母なる女神イシス様はオシリス像の北の宮殿におられます。そしてイシス様はあなたに問われます。その答えは巻物にあります。そして 永遠の部屋を解く鍵となるでしょう。4つの黄金の印、それを心に書き記し、さあ行くのです。
She sent for me as she lay dying, Menet, the High Priestess. I am the last rightful heir, the hereditary priestess of Isis, Osiris, and Horus. They scattered the messages, the secrets of the temple she tried to leave for me. Before the wrath of Osiris, Lord of Forever, took them. But some remain.
神官長のメネト様は死の床で私をお呼びになりました。私に全てを託されお亡くなりになったのです。今では私がオシリス様たちを守る唯一の神官となりました。しかしその私も神々の怒りに触れ、時の流れの中をさまよう身。お願いです、力をお貸しください。メネト様が私にお話になろうとした神殿の秘密の多くはすでにオシリス様の手で葬り去られたものですが、残った秘密は神殿のどこかに隠されています。
The eyes of Horus are many, yet only one may go with you into the dark way. But to pass the guardians, only the sign of life will help you. You must not go without these keys, or the way will be shut.
永遠の部屋を開けるためには命の鍵が、闇の道を開くためにはホルス様の目が必要です。そして神殿の外には大地と水の鍵が隠されています。
Beneath the rising sun lie the secrets of the guardians. The royal boat will serve only those who have mastered the obelisks.
Roma was right. There is someone here. I saw her crossing the courtyard with the statue of the falcon. She hasn't seen me yet. This little exploration may prove more interesting than I thought. Too bad I have to be back on the other side of the river tonight because... What the... Wait, what's happening? No, I didn't initialize the gate.
ドクター玲子の言った通り、ここには誰かいるわ。鷹の像を持った女が中庭を通り過ぎるのを私見たの。相手はまだ私に気づいていない。これは面白いことになりそうだわ。とりあえず川向こうへ戻らなくちゃ。何？どうしたの？何？タイムゲートに何かが。
Sorcerer's box, left behind by one of those others. The travelers, be warned. The one who trespassed here was sent by the anger of the god into oblivion. Take care. I too touched that vessel of eternity, and now I am trapped in this gray place where time does not flow. Help me. must listen, for to go forward without knowledge is death. On no account must you attempt the dark way, without the eye of Horus upon you. The beautiful God sees that no way is shut behind the faithful.
How many beautiful ones may call Osiris, Lord of forever, Father of my father? Answer, that you might pass the third gate safely.
セトの反乱により多くの邪悪な者たちがオシリスを裏切りました。しかし真実は明かされています。オシリスはその事実を忘れぬよう裏切り者の数を永遠の世界の最初の鍵としました。
How many beautiful ones may call Osiris, Lord of forever, Father of my father? Answer, that you might pass the third gate safely. Thus many evil ones it took to betray great Osiris through the treachery of Set. Speak truly, and you shall enter the first gate to eternity. only great ones shall be seated by Osiris, Lord of eternity, in the Hall of Two Truths. When the soul of man or woman comes to be judged, the truth shall see you through the second gate.
Here is the sign of life. When all other keys fail, this will open the way to eternity. Those who adventure where the darkness rules, take the sign of life and the eye of Horus, the beautiful sun, who, if he opens his eyes, does make the light.
Nefertari, even as you read this letter, I am dying, and soon you will have inherited the sacred obligations of priestess to Osiris, Isis, and Horus. My time...
I can't believe it. We are actually here. The gate works, and we are ready to begin our assembly of artifacts for the collection. Dr. Howard predicts that we shall make the largest single addition to the Ancient Artifact Division, and I am certain he is correct. I'm particularly anxious to go to the Greek station and oversee the work there. They are good people, but I have never really believed that their supervisor fully understands the pre-classical periods. We finished packing the Minoan pieces late this evening. Lovely things. But I'm convinced that previous theories about Atlantis are incorrect. Daedalus agrees, and he is still searching for it. What a tremendous triumph that would be. Howard would be transported. I have gone back and forth several times. It is a bit enervating, but nothing to seriously trouble me. The work at the Greek station is progressing well. A pity the Asia Minor station came to nothing. I can't really understand Daedalus when he tries to explain. I am not all that certain he understands himself. But whatever the reason, it appears there will be no Asia Minor station for the time being. The crystal matrix simply rejects the coordinates until the area in question was virtually uninhabited. The cities for which it did permit coordinates to be entered were far too late for our interests. What a tragedy! That gold necklace was really special, and I know Howard wanted it for his personal collection. He should have had it, for we all know that the work here could not possibly have been so fruitful without him. He knows so much. He has studied these ancient cultures for so long. What would we do without his guidance and encouragement? No wonder he was furious. I can't imagine what those fools at the European station were about. Clearly, they must have failed in proper packing procedures. Howard had a right to be angry. Someone in the Greek station told me something strange today. It seems she was trying to go to the European gate, and there was some unexplained surge in the transport gate. She barely got out in time. Her luggage disappeared, but did not arrive in Europe. Funny to think of her tools and such arriving somewhere far ahead or back in the earliest days. What would the people then think? Fortunately, she didn't have much with her. And of course, no one has a clue what happened. I feel certain that she didn't enter the correct coordinates. We have had no other reports like this, so likely it was her own fault. Howard says she'll no doubt be more careful in the future, unless she wants to learn to speak Neanderthal. Daedalus told us all today about Atlantis. Howard was thrilled. We all were, for the good of the collection is always primary with him. He cannot wait until the gate is finished. Pity it's to be underwater, because I am not much fond of that idea. But he assures us it is a case like Asia Minor. The Matrix got cranky, so we have to build the gate where it will allow us to. Funny to think that we are being directed by a hunk of crystal technology. I wonder if even Lantis and Daedalus really understand it. More incompetence in the Greek station. One of the technicians apparently set the coordinates incorrectly and disappeared. They deny it, of course, and the supervisor says he was there and the techie did everything correctly. If so, where did she go? He has no answer. Some people have an amazing ability to hide from the truth. Howard is annoyed because he says people will get hysterical. Poor man. He struggles so with the responsibility for us all and for the collection. It makes me furious to see people adding to his burdens this way. Inexcusable. I helped Howard polish some of the gold objects from the Seti I tomb. They are unbelievably beautiful. I felt so privileged just to touch them. He said something about his collection, but I must have misunderstood. He must have meant the collection. I know he only thinks about enriching the cultural base. The Atlantis gate is finished. I wanted to go right away, but Daedalus and Lantis both fussed about it. Something about anomalies. I think it's selfish. I have an idea. I get these premonitions that something about Atlantis is going to cause us all trouble. Tomorrow I will go. Tomorrow I will go through to the Greek station. Atlantis and Daedalus objected, of course, but Howard personally asked me to go and check on the sculptures that are being packed. There is an Apollo statue, pure gold and standing in a chariot, too lovely to be believed, from the Delphi sanctuary where it was hidden. Naturally, he wants me to supervise its transferal. I feel uneasy, as if something is about to happen. I hate these feelings. They interfere with my work. Howard says I need a short vacation when I return. So thoughtful, so very kind. I think I shall go to, well, almost anywhere is possible, isn't it?
信じられない。とうとうやってきた。今私が古代エジプトに立っている。すべて予定通り、すべて順調。ドクター・レイコは人類の歴史の謎がすべてわかる最大のプロジェクトになるとおっしゃった。本当にそう思う。私はギリシャゲート行って作業を見てみたいな。あそこの責任者は古代ギリシャについて分かってるとは思えないもの。
ヨーロッパゲートはバカばかりだ。このネックレスの価値がわからないなんて。自分らの扱っているガラクタと一緒に考えているのじゃないか。
ヨーロッパゲートは古代の専門家がいないんですよ。きっと根本のミスです。
黄金のネックレス、美術品としての価値、考古学的価値。もうみんなバカだ。
ええ、きっとそうです。誰も先生ほどの熱意も努力もしていません。今回のプロジェクトだって先生がいなければちっとも進みませんわ。ヨーロッパゲートで面白いことが起こった。本当におかしい。ゲートで電圧変化があってバッグが消えちゃったんだって。バッグは過去か未来かどこか遠くに消えちゃってみんな慌て。ドクター・レイコはさすが悠然としたもので、北京原人はこのバッグをどう使うかななんと真面目に言うんですもの。原因は不明だけどきっと時空間座標の入力ミスね。あのゲートの担当者はみんなおバカさんだもん。ヨーロッパゲートがまたミスを起こした。オペレーターの操作ミスでスタッフが全員消えてしまったの。それなのにあの人たちは自分たちのミスを絶対認めようとしない。自分は正しいと繰り返すばかり。じゃあなぜ事故が起こるのよ。ドクター・レイコがかわいそうよ。ここまで苦労してきたのに。今が大事なところなのに。明日いよいよアトランティスに行きます。ドクター・レイコの指示。カヨコやリエは反対してるけど、純金の像や素晴らしい美術品があるらしい。目の前に水没する前の祭壇が姿を現す。楽しみです。ドクターは今後私に転送を担当させたいって言っていた。でも少し不安がある。何か起こりそう。きっと初めてだからだわ。
戻ったら休暇にしなさいって言ってくれたし、ドクター玲子って優しい。きっとうまくいく。行くわよ。
I told Roma the stupid peasant just appeared, and he saw me. I had no choice. He didn't agree, of course. Roma doesn't always understand expediency. I also told him I thought keeping journal entries was a waste of time. I have better, more enjoyable things to do, even in this backwater rat hole. The only enjoyable thing that happened today was listening to Roma chew out Howard for ignoring security. One has to admire his nerve. Howard is a powerful man. Had an interesting little chat with the big man today. It seems that Howard believes some trinkets may be lying around the temple across the river. He wants me to go over and, I believe his exact words were, spy out the land. Where does he get this stuff? Naturally, I will have to wait until Roma is otherwise occupied. The man has so little imagination. This traveling to other gates, looking to explain stupid mistakes made by incompetent techies, is a bore. And making these entries is a bore too. But procedure must be followed. I've been reviewing the literature of these people. What a valiant concept of warfare. Some of the strategies, clumsy of course, and crude weapons. But still, there is something about meeting the enemy with a sword in your hand, behind a charging horse. Ah, the heat, the dust, the clamor of battle. Oh, it sounds glorious. Oh yes, one of the techies disappeared from the Greek station. Roma wants me to go over there and look around. Perhaps someone there wanted her to disappear. Or not. But it is something to do. I found nothing at the Greek station. If there had been something to find, I would have found it. I questioned everyone most thoroughly. This is an endless assignment. Grubbing in the dirt, making reports, and talk. At least there are some important military files to transfer to the collection. Much more interesting than all these treasures that Howard is so obsessed with. Gold is gold to buy things with. But might, power, these are the things worth fighting for. I've gone through every gate. I looked everywhere. She wasn't there. Even Roma admitted it was a thorough search. She was just gone. Tibetan Gate reported a loss yesterday. We checked it out. But there was nothing to be done. I am uneasy with this. Surely we have enough trinkets for the collection. I am not unwilling to fight. But we do not know the name of the enemy. This is madness. Vincent, gone in an instant. Not even on the gate. None of us are safe now. And those fools pore over their diagrams and theories until I want to push all of them into the gate. Except for Howard. For him, I would reserve a sword. Roma talked to me about closing the gate. He's wary. He knows I haven't forgotten certain things. But on this we agree. We must take command and leave this accursed place. This precious technology has been nothing but disaster since we took it. And Roma is planning to take out Howard soon. Howard sent me to the Mayan station yesterday to set up a little surprise. I have no idea why he wants to waste it on an uninhabited city. But then Howard doesn't have to make any sense. When I returned, I found I had missed the big showdown between Howard and Roma. Apparently our Dr. Howard faced down the great Roma and subdued him. Of course the disruptor helped. Roma won't take this for long. We are to talk tomorrow night, after the Thutmose dig is closed. At last! Time for more than talk. I've been remembering something from that time I went across the river to the temple. Howard is absorbed in dreams of gold and paranoia, so I believe I'll slip over there for another look.
川向こうに誰かいた。データではアピルス神殿は廃墟のはずなのに。うかつだった。誰かに見られた。誰もいないはずの神殿からこちらを見ていた。何者なの？舞子に報告したらひどく叱られた。不可抗力よ。仕方ないじゃない。遊んでいたわけじゃないし。川岸で偵察していたんだから。ドクター・リエは見られただけでも歴史を変える危険性があると言ったけど。バカバカしい。そんなの考えすぎよ。ドクター・レイコはあっさり許してくれたじゃない。あたしレイコのこんなところが好き。マユコったら最低。すぐ上司風を吹かすんですよ。ドクター・リエと一緒になってあれするなこれするなばっかり。何にもできない。これじゃ今回のプロジェクトの先行きが不安ですよ。
そうそう。規則だけでは新しい進歩も発見もありえない。時には周りの状況を判断したルール違反も少しは認めないと。マイコには私から注意しておくわ。
そうですとも。みんな今回のプロジェクトのために一生懸命なんです。
本当にその通り。ところで川の向こう側に誰かいたらしいが。
ええ。
大事な任務よ。みんなの安全のために向こう岸を偵察してきて。
でもそれは規則で禁止に。
何言ってるの？人類の進歩のため。廃墟のあの神殿にまだ誰かいるなんて。しかもそこにはさまざまな神々が眠っているはずよ。
わかりました。やります。偵察に行きます。エリカが消えた。ゲートというゲートはみんな探した。徹底的に探した。あの舞子だって完璧だって言ったぐらい。目の前でエリカが消えたのよ。ああ。ドクター・レイコに言われてネックレスが壊れていた事件を調査していた時だった。エリカが協力してくれて。彼女ドクター一途だから私危ないって。このプロジェクトは失敗。撤退すべきだ。この呪われた場所から。タイムトラベルは全て災いのもと。マイコはタイムゲートを閉鎖すると言っている。ドクター・レイコは反対している。でもきっとドクターの言う通りになるんだ。ドクター・レイコの指示でマヤゲートに行った。今頃タイムゲートを調査して何になるの？ドクターのご考説はもうたくさん。マイコは間違っているなんて。マイコも消えた。マイコが勝手な行動を取るわけがない。きっとドクターは川向こうの神殿で一体何を企んでいるの？よし、調べよう。幸いレイコは収集品の整理に夢中だし、必ず尻尾を掴んでやる。明日の晩レイコと決着つけてやる。
Howard, I'm going to try again to reason with you. I have not heard from Daedalus or Lantis for days. Even Roma is silent. If you think this will prevent us from leaving you, you're wrong. In a matter of days, perhaps hours, we are leaving this place with or without your team. The situation is very grave. Howard, don't make me leave you here. Howard, where's your report? It's overdue. You know the importance of following procedure. Everyone's safety and the success of the mission depends on it. Roma, what is going on down there? Why have you stopped reporting in? I have an important message for Dr. Daedalus, but he doesn't answer either. It is absolutely critical that I speak to you both immediately. Daedalus, there is some disturbing information about the gate. I must speak to you as soon as you get this message. Call in. Tell Roma to call in. This silence is unlike him.
We have successfully entered Old Egypt, New Kingdom, 18th Dynasty. Dr. Lantis assures me the gate is stable. My assessment of the suitability of the site for our main gate was correct. The labyrinth, located beneath the Great Pyramid, is perfect for our base of operations. The ban of Akhenaten has worked in our favor. The place is nearly deserted. Subsidiary gates are being established. I have great hopes for several, the Mayan site in particular. It is a nuisance having to choose a virtually uninhabited site for the major gates, but it cannot be helped, according to Daedalus. Terrible. I abhor carelessness. A gold necklace from Europe arrived in pieces. A lovely piece. Hundreds of beaten gold leaves in a circle. Inlays of amethyst and emerald. It would have nearly completed my European collection. Vincent will go to the European station and investigate, as I cannot spare Roma just now. Naturally, the fools at the station denied responsibility. Vincent's report seems complete, but perhaps it was an error not to send Roma. He's much more intimidating than Vincent. He'd better make it clear to those fools at the European station that nothing else had better come through in pieces. Unless it's themselves. Daedalus has convinced himself he has located coordinates for Atlantis. Oh, what a coup that will be. An absolutely unique source. No known artifacts in existence. Oh, I hope he knows what he's talking about. Although the artifacts continue to come through on schedule, we've received some strange reports of happenings at some of the other gates. Hysterical reports of people disappearing. I must find time to investigate. Nothing must interrupt the work. We went forward and opened Seti I tomb today. Oh, wonderful things. We've begun carrying them up to the labyrinth by boat. We have to be careful, but it is worth the risk. It's maddening to have to watch and wait while they filled up the tomb and sealed it. The guards of the tombs are not proof against tranquilizer darts, and of course, they will not dare tell anyone that they woke up in the morning with no idea of what had happened. I feel sure of success. Daedalus and Lantis are still worrying and tinkering over the Atlantis gate. I told them to get on with it. Their caution's overdone. If they are successful, we shall have something to take forward which will surpass every other contribution to the collection. Think of it. To bring Atlantis into the cultural base. Nothing since the beginning of the Reconstruction can compare with it. Nothing must stop us. Nothing. We cleared the last of the Seti I tomb, and will begin on Tutmos II tomorrow. It is not so rich a find, but still it is filled with wonders. I will have a hard time deciding which items to keep and which to let go to the collection. It is a triumph. The Atlantis gate established. Atlantis is whining about anomalies. He and Daedalus have been unable to establish a gate prior to the devastation. I told them we couldn't have gone then anyway. I'm tired of stating the obvious to these pedants. We have recovered many beautiful objects which survived the catastrophe. I can't believe it. Something has happened to Cassandra. We were working together at the gate, and she was ready to go through to the Greek outpost. We were not quite ready, and she just vanished. There was a rush of energy, light, something that was almost a smell, almost a sound. Can't describe it. She was gone. Greek station reports she never arrived, and there was no trace of her. She will be a serious loss, especially as she was most knowledgeable on the Greek and Macedonian collection. This is intolerable. They have shut down the gate at the Greek station. The commander is harassing me to do the same here. She demands to speak to Daedalus and Roma. Not at all likely. Fortunately, I was prepared for the mindless fear of fools confronted with a little insecurity. I control all communications now. I will not be turned aside from my goal. Nothing will stop me. And when I return with the richest addition to the collection since Reconstruction began, I will be vindicated. Vincent was the next to go. He was there. Then there was this indescribable sensation, all smell and taste and sound and light, all the senses in one flash, and he was gone. He wasn't even on the gate itself, just beside it when he disappeared. Of course, the others are panicking. If only they could put their petty concerns aside and concentrate on the reconstruction. That is a goal worthy of the greatest sacrifice. Roma is insisting on closing the gate. We now know that many, maybe most of the other gates have been shut down. No one answers. How they dare do this without my permission. No more objects are sent through and no personnel. No one from here is willing to travel through it except for a final attempt to return home. Naturally, this is unacceptable. I cannot leave my collection. The work is not done. Roma underestimates me. I know he thinks he has only to brandish his weapons at me and I will cede my authority. He is a fool, and I am prepared. I heard them talking. Daedalus and Lantis. They are all that is left. They were planning to take down the gate. Daedalus was going to trick me, and if necessary, leave me here alone, stranded. But I fooled them. I took the power crystals and hid them. This is the last one. And when it is hidden, it will be impossible for them to proceed with their absurd plot. Without the crystals, they cannot shut down the gate. And they will never find them. I lured them into the gate, pretending that I was going to show them something I had discovered. I neither know nor care where they went. They were traitors. I will pack up the choicest pieces from my collection and go back. The commander continues to waste her time and mine, demanding I abandon the gate. I'm not ready. A way must be found to solve the problem of the fragmentation in time and continue the work. But she must be pacified, so I suppose I must go. Temporarily, at least. I will leave the crystals hidden so no one can shut down the gate. I will return.
なんてことだ。注意を怠るなんて。この黄金のネックレスをバラバラにするなんて。素晴らしい一品だった。ルビーやガーネットを埋め込んだ 根本のミスなんてバカバカしすぎる。ヨーロッパゲートのバカどもはデリカシーのかけらもないのか。もう少しで古代ヨーロッパのコレクションが完成していたのに。今マイコにチェックされても困る。そうだ、調査には佳代子を送ろう。ドクター玲子、報告書はどうなっていますか？プロジェクトの進行状況を正確に報告してください。みんなの安全と任務の成功のために常に報告は怠らないこと。早く提出してください。素晴らしい。リーがとうとうアトランティスの時空間座標を発見した。本当にこれは人類の歴史を変える大発見だ。リーをいくら絶賛しても構わない。どんな美しいものがあるんだ。手つかずの宝。他のゲートで何が起ころうと構うもんか。アトランティスにタイムゲートを設置することが最優先。作業の邪魔や遅れは許さない。ドクター・リエ、タイムゲートに何か問題が生じたのですか？タイムゲートの時空間に異常が記録されました。このメッセージを聞いたらすぐに連絡しなさい。セキュリティのマイコも同じです。報告を怠るなんてマユコらしくないわ。信じられないことが起こった。エリカに何が起こったんだ。タイムゲートで準備をしていた。光が急に走ってエネルギー系が振り切れて、エリカが消えた。後に妙な匂いと音が残った。彼女はどこにもいない。影も形もない。エリカは残念なことをした。なんといっても古代ヨーロッパに関してはよく勉強していたからな。マユコは当面危険なゲートは閉鎖するという。アカデミー本部にも報告すると言ってきている。だがそうはさせない。そうはさせるものか。ネットワークは私が握っている。邪魔は誰にもさせない。私の目的は人類の永遠の謎、アトランティス。人類が初めて手に入れる最高の美。みんな手に入れるわ。隊員たちがパニック状態だ。奇妙な感覚が我々を襲い、変な匂いがする。そして気がつくと佳代子はいなかった。こんなことでマユコがタイムゲートを閉鎖した。隊員たちは怖がってタイムトラベルを拒絶する。バカな。偉大なる科学者として歴史に名前を残すチャンスだというのに、みんな何を考えているんだろう。マユコには消えてもらったわ。無責任にいなくなった。みんなはそう信じているわ。マユコ、なぜ連絡がないのです。ドクター・リエも2人ともすぐに連絡をよこしなさい。必ずよこすのですよ。ドクター・レイコ、緊急指令です。直ちに帰還しなさい。タイムゲートが暴走を始めました。残された時間はあとわずかです。すぐに引き上げなさい。これは命令です。ドクター・リエにタイムゲートを破壊するように命じてください。繰り返します。すぐに帰還しなさい。リエと前の計画は分かっているのよ。タイムゲートを壊し、私を置き去りにする。そうはさせるものですか。私は一枚上手。パワークリスタルを隠してやったわ。 クリスタルはこれで4つ目。このパワークリスタルが揃わないとタイムゲートは破壊も閉鎖もできない。最後のこれはスペースステーションに隠しておこう。アカデミー本部も心配しすぎだ。タイムゲートはまだまだ大丈夫。
Security log entry code 1 alpha. I have set up temporary security measures to protect the installation of the gate, and am proceeding with more permanent safeguards. Temujin did an adequate job of intelligence gathering, and it does look like a secure site. When I found out about that peasant, I nearly sent him back in pieces. But he assures me it was an accident. No other incidents since the security system was installed. Well, it was a pretty good joke on us. The natives here have contrived some very inventive security devices of their own, and I've been having fun with them. Howard wanted me to deactivate them, but I think we'll leave them right where they are. Extra security never hurts. Howard is impossible. All he can think about is his precious artifacts. He has no grasp of security. I insisted on some extra measures to protect the gate. Easy for any of us to get past, but a serious deterrent for any outsider. Howard keeps yammering about this being sacred ground and no Egyptian venturing in anyway. But I know that there is someone in the temple complex across the river, and I want to dissuade any unannounced visitors. Vincent went to the European station to look into the matter of the broken necklace. He is finicky about details, so I trust him to bring me a complete report. Probably the thing was broken before it was sent, but it would be incorrect not to check out every possibility. Naturally, I expect a full description of everything relating to the gate, however small, that might indicate a problem. I found Temujin outside the perimeter again. Howard had actually sent him across the river to search the temple. I can't believe the arrogant stupidity of the man. It is a serious breach of security for any of us to go out in potentially populated areas without proper cover. I explained it to him again. I explained it to Temujin too, but a little more forcefully. I have been to each of the gates and reviewed their procedures. No one admits to any breach of security measures or any shortcutting in setting coordinates. Not that I expected any such admission. It doesn't make sense. And I hate things that don't make sense. Daedalus is reviewing the theory, of course, and Lantis is touring around checking the physical functioning of the gates. But somehow I doubt if the problem is with the technology. Well, it's finally happened. One of the techies disappeared in the gate. I went to every gate in the system, and no one had seen or heard anything. Lantis is examining the gate for the 30th time. Temujin is prowling around looking for some evidence of tampering or personal spite. I spent all day at the Greek station with them, trying to make some sense of this. I had to recommend one of the other technicians be returned, as he was so upset he was an imminent disaster. That leaves the Greek station too short, and Howard is, of course, concerned about the diminished number of artifacts which can be processed through their gate. He actually suggested sending Cassandra to fill in. Nothing matters to him except his precious artifacts. I think perhaps a little investigation into his personal effects is in order. It would be too bad if some of the more important objects didn't actually end up in the collection at all, but in some place smaller, more private, like Howard's estate. Howard had a close brush with a necropolis guard last night. He used the tranquilizer gun correctly, so no harm has been done. But it can't happen too often. He must show more caution. All he can do is gloat over the loot.
Are we so certain about what we're doing? I can't believe it. I can't bloody believe it. Cassandra got sucked into that gate like a moth into a flame. Howard had asked her to go to the Greek station to supervise the removal of a statue. Gold, of course. I objected, but she would go. Howard says she just vanished before he had finished entering the coordinates. I sent Temujin to the Greek station and on to all the others, but there was no sign of her. From now on, one of the security team must be present when the gate is being used. Howard may have been personally selected by the curator to lead this expedition, but I think I'll just step up my surveillance. Howard is a man obsessed, and such men are dangerous. I am also beginning to consider shutting down the gates. No mention of this to Howard yet, of course. If we are not able to isolate the trouble, we may have to close up early. It will mean a serious loss to the collection, but not as serious as losing our people. Someone disappeared from the Tibetan gate today. Apparently, a woman was just getting ready to initialize the gate when she vanished. Same story as before. She didn't go to any of the other gates. I knew her and her son. It was a small station, and no one was willing to stay. Everyone there has returned. Howard screamed, of course, but there was nothing he could do. He certainly won't spare anyone from here. The Mayan station closed today, and the people returned. Those that were left. Most of the artifacts had been recovered, so it is not too serious a loss for the almighty collection. The missing may feel differently, of course, assuming they still feel anything. And even one gold idol is a serious loss for Howard the Mad. Where? Where are they going? And why doesn't he go there too? Today it was Vincent. Poor boy. All he ever wanted was to be left alone with his everlasting scribbling and drawing. I wonder where he went. I have to stop this. We will have to shut down the gates. Daedalus and Lantis want to shut down the gate. They approached me today, as if I wasn't way ahead of them. But it will take careful planning. Howard is the enemy. And it is always fatal to underestimate the enemy.
ミキがまたタイムゲートの安全圏外に出た。ドクター・レイコの指示だという。初日もミキは似たミスを犯している。その時は川の向こう岸にいる現地人に目撃されている。あの時の反省が生かされていない。ドクター・レイコも同じよ。二人にはきつく警告を出すことにしよう。ヨーロッパゲートで一人消えた。前はゲートの点検を、ミキは警備を強化した。私も現場をチェックしたが何も問題はない。ドクター・レイコはエリカをヨーロッパゲートへ送ろうという。その理由が明らかにおかしい。こちらに送られてくる美術品の数を減らさないためだとか。彼女の頭の中にはそれ以外ないんだろうか。いや、
絶対におかしい。これから玲子の行動は要チェック。それから所持品も調べてみることにしよう。人類の歴史に残るプロジェクト、彼女の手で怪我させるものですか？信じられない。エリカがタイムゲートに消えた。スッと吸い込まれるように、影も形もなくなってしまった。アトランティス、アトランティス、そう。ドクター・レイコがアトランティスなんかに派遣したから。それをのんきに時空間座標の入力前に消えたですって。全てのタイムゲートをチェックしたが、もうどこにもいない。絶望だわ。玲子は美術品に取りつかれている。狂ってるわ。次の犠牲者が出る前に全てのタイムゲートを閉鎖することに決めた。そうしよう。マヤゲートは閉鎖。隊員は無事だった。美術品も収集できたし、まあなんとか目的を達したわ。ドクター・レイコは不満そうだったけどでも佳代子ももう消えていた。かわいそうに。どこにもいない。もうたくさんよ。タイムゲートは全て閉鎖。玲子こそ敵よ。ドクター・リエと前に相談して直ちに計画を中断するわ。ミキをマヤゲートに派遣した。彼女が帰ってきたら何かご用ですか、ドクター・レイコ。
すべてのタイムゲートを閉鎖し計画を中止しようとしているらしいわね。
そのことについてはドクター・リエからお話を。
あなたの欠点はね、想像力がないってこと。壊れたら直せばいいのよ。それよりも今は大事なことがあるの。それはあなたをどうするかってことなのよ。
私をどこかへ飛ばす気？
その通りよ。今まで残しておいただけでも感謝してほしいわ。私たちいいパートナーになれそうだったのに。
お願い、待って話を聞いて。
面白かった。事故には気をつけなくっちゃ。
Oh, it was a smooth transition. The gate is operating at maximum efficiency. We have made a good start, as Roma has done such a good job at finding a suitable site. I congratulated him. The labyrinth should be most suitable for our base. Work was interrupted briefly today when the first shipment came through the gate. Howard was beside himself. It included artifacts from early Minoan culture. 1 month anniversary. To celebrate, Howard sent his first shipment home. All the best pieces, I suspect, went to Howard. I saw Roma watching him. He looked curious, but the curators should be satisfied. This was an unbelievably rich addition to the collection. Howard thinks we shall all be heroes. The man is an egomaniac, but a brilliant one. Oh yes, additional note. Daedalus has cracked the Atlantis barrier and located TS coordinates. Gate construction will commence as soon as we decide on the time. Howard was very pleased, of course. Smells fresh meat. Howard is in ecstasy. The Seti I tomb proved to be richer than even he imagined. He wanted everyone to drop their work and help ferry the artifacts. Disappearing people are unimportant compared to gold statues and ebony boats. Reports from other gates continue to be disturbing. I'm watching our gate very carefully, though Daedalus insists the theory is unassailable. Still, people are disappearing. Kinda wish one of them could be Howard. More reports. I approached Howard about shutting down the gate for a while until we understand what is happening. I've been over the system thoroughly. Everything functioning normally according to the design documents, which would be reassuring, except the engineer at the Greek station says the same, and he has lost 2 people. I asked Daedalus if he is sure he understands the theory. He says he can't have made a mistake. He understands it perfectly. I asked him, then why are people disappearing? Daedalus has no answer, and Howard is only worried about any possible delay in shipping. I have insisted that no one travel through the gate until we sort it out. Roma backed me up. I thought Howard would have a stroke. Daedalus is working on a possible theory to explain malfunctioning gates at other stations. Howard is furious at any suggestion of slowing down. He plans to send Cassandra through to the Greek station. I warned him, we both did, that this may not be advised. Howard insists. Since the Greek shipment came in half missing, he is convinced they are stealing or breaking it themselves through carelessness. The man has tunnel vision. I told Cassandra she should refuse, but she is totally under the man's sway. Half mad herself when it comes to it. Yesterday, we lost Cassandra. She didn't arrive at any of the other stations. Roma and Timogen went through to each gate, but no one had seen her. The Greek station is a shambles. People are terrified. Then, today, Roma ordered them to shut it down, as perhaps it is the source of the problem. Howard nearly had apoplexy. Cassandra. She didn't matter to him at all. I thought for a moment that Roma was going to kill him. Pity. Since Vincent went, Daedalus is growing more despondent. He asks if the gate is malfunctioning over and over. But it isn't, except that people are disappearing. Now people not even in the gate. I talked to Roma about forcing Howard to shut down. I suspect that Howard is preventing us from contacting the commander, but Roma assures me she will not leave without us. I know he is planning something, but I can tell that something is wrong and Roma isn't telling us. What could be worse than what we already know? Daedalus is growing weaker. Doesn't eat or sleep. Just pores over his notes and journals. Looking. Most of the other gates are closed. We have not been able to contact the commander. Soon we will be alone. I record this, but I do not believe it. Timogen and Roma, both gone. Temujin apparently walked out of here 2 nights ago. Roma was looking for him, waiting for him. He never came back. Then Roma just disappeared. He was hurt after that very convenient accident. No one saw him go. Howard says he is off at other stations. But which ones? They are all closed now. All but us. Daedalus told us he has aged 100 years. Looks like death. The problem is not the mechanism or the theory. It is in the application of the theory we have used. It is in the very fabric of time. We know now where the others have gone. That is, we know what happened to them. There is no way to find them without months of study, perhaps years. If the others are alive, somewhere, somewhen, they will survive. They have the advantage of knowing more about history than do the makers of it. The only possible solution is to close the gate permanently. Daedalus is making preparations secretly. Howard would kill us if he knew. I have approached Daedalus. He is ready. We will leave Howard if necessary. Daedalus is preparing for the final dissolution. He has worked out a sequence which should not only shut down the gate, but restore time to its original configuration. I know the commander would agree with us if we could contact her. He has won. The madman controls time, or the destruction of it. We went to the Matrix to shut down the gate, and 4 of the crystals were gone. The gate has weakened so much that without at least one of the missing ones, we cannot even try the remaining gates to find the others. Howard has hidden them. Without them, we cannot destroy the gate. And the schematics for the gate, all the data, has been taken. If only we could get through to him. It means the end of everything. Howard claims to have discovered something. Promises to give us the power crystals. He insists that Daedalus and I check the gate first, as if that will do any good. I am almost too tired. It's hard to think about going back without all the others.
スムーズ、順調だ。タイムゲートは最高のコンディションで動いている。ドクター・リエの理論は完璧だった。この迷宮もタイムゲートの基地としてベスト。この点でも頭の固いリエの選択は正しかった。少しは見直しましょう。これからが楽しみ。ドクター佳代子はいなくなった。タイムゲートは故障していない？タイムゲートは正常よ。それじゃなんで人や物が消えちゃうのよ。それはタイムゲートを閉鎖しましょう。待って、タイムゲート以外でも消えてる。きっと別の理由があるのよ。ス
ベースステーションとも連絡つかないし、きっと何かの陰謀よ。間違ってない。絶対運用のミスだ。理論は正しい。タイムゲートも狂ってない。だが時空間に歪みが生じてる。消えていく人たちはみんなそこに吸い込まれていく。やむを得ない。タイムゲートを破壊しよう。成功率は半々だけど、元に戻るためにはドクターリエに相談しよう。そうだ、それしかない。玲子の動きが気になる。きっと反対する。殺されるかもしれない。それにきっと科学アカデミーでも承認してくれる。クリスタルが4つなくなっている。マトリックスでゲートを閉鎖しようとしたのに、パワークリスタルは全部揃わないと。犯人は分かってる。玲子よ。彼女がクリスタルを隠したのよ。マヤ、チベット、アトランティス、スペースステーション、そしてここ。まだ閉鎖されてないゲートを使って隠したのよ。クリスタルはどこよ。どこなの。クリスタルがないとゲートの破壊もできない。ゲートの図面もデータもない。どこよ。どこなの。どうしたらいいの。ドクター玲子は何か掴んだの。クリスタルをくれると言った。罠よね。分かってるのよ。マヤの地下室の扉を開ける鍵はチベットにある。マヤには謎が多すぎる。ピラミッドを登るためにはあの謎を解かなければならない。柱の表示通り進めば成功する。ダメ。もう疲れた。みんないなくなった。誰も残ってない。
We successfully entered 18th Dynasty Egypt. Howard would not have tolerated delay, and I am satisfied that the gate operates as it should. Lantis is a good engineer, the best. He built it as I specified. Glorious day. I'm grateful for the opportunity to test the theory. All seems unquestionably correct. I've been busy helping Howard locate the finds. The equipment is adequate, but opening tons of rock is still a dusty business. I must check with Lantis about the broken trinket that came through today. It should not have happened if it was complete when the European station sent it. Early days for a malfunction. I am rapidly completing calculations for the location of Atlantis. I've been following obscure references in Plato. Once I disregarded the Santorini theory, I've been getting closer. I have been having difficulty defining parameters in the crystal matrix. It is curiously resistant. Nothing in the base theory explains it. However, precise TS coordinates should clarify the problem. It is beautiful technology, and I am proud of my contribution to it, however small. At last, a major breakthrough on Atlantean problem. I believe I have located the correct coordinates, but the crystal matrix only accepts those which locate it post-cataclysm. No line can be open to pre-devastation Atlantis It's similar to the problem with the Asia Minor attempt. Retrieving artifacts from a caldera will be more difficult than hoped, but if it's the only way, Howard will be satisfied. I am looking forward to the look on his face when he contemplates artifacts from the royal city of Atlantis. They will be an absolutely unique contribution to the collection, the only existing artifacts of a vanished civilization. Howard was jubilant. His reaction was everything I could have hoped for and as predictable. He sent a team from the Greek station to begin the gate. I don't envy them that task. However, Howard is determined to begin the operation without delay, and I really cannot blame him. No one has ever provided the collection with such artifacts as these. Something is wrong. Roma and Atlantis are talking about shutting down the gates temporarily. Howard objects, of course. He feels no concern for all those unfortunate people, only cares about his collection of these relics of death. I'm beginning to wonder if this technology, which we all believe to be such a cultural advance, is in fact accursed. Vincent and I have been working over the theories and formula for days and have found nothing. He's a good boy, but his heart is not in it. I was so certain I understood every nuance of the theories. What could possibly have gone wrong? It seems so very quiet here now. Cassandra, and now Vincent. So very young. Temujin gone. And Roma. No one saw them go. At least, no one admits it. I can't eat or sleep. I revolve the time theory over and over, but cannot see the answer. I can see nothing amiss with our application of the theory. Something terrible has been set loose. Perhaps I've lost sanity. Howard certainly has. At least, now I'm too weak to dig. I can't face the truth. I know now what happened to Vincent and to all the others. Time travel works. The theory works because all times coexist. All possibilities that may happen do happen. Einstein vindicated. Its very viability has been our undoing. Must tell Atlantis. But we must be careful. I do not know how Howard will react. Without Roma, we are all alone with him. I told Atlantis. I explained what has happened. I told him to prepare the final destruction of the gate system. It must not be used, must never be used. All because Howard insisted we go to other times of possibility, never our own. Howard would not risk going back in our track, too afraid his own present would be altered. So he insisted on going back to different tracks. That's the problem. Each shift tore the membrane between them, disrupted the fabric of time which separates one track from the infinity of others, the very substance of the universe. Each small disruption added to the others. We have compromised all existence. People have been sucked into other tracks, lost in time somewhere, some when. This track, that track, who knows? Can't even try to explain it to Howard. I have prepared the formula for the dissolution of the gate and set the crystal matrix. I have also written instructions for use. Not a fool, Howard may suspect. I am too weak to fight him off now. But Lantis knows what to do. One of us must make it, must destroy the gate.
Consider it. By successfully preserving our heritage, we will have cheated time. The cataclysm won't win after all.
素晴らしい。アトランティスの時空間座標を割り出したんだって。
ありがとうございます。ついにアトランティスの正しい時空間座標が分かりました。でも正しい時空間座標なのにどうしても海に沈む前の座標にアトランティスにアクセスできない。どうしても時空間座標が受け付けないの。海に沈んだアトランティスしか見れないのが残念です。
いや大丈夫、きっとやれる。きっとアトランティスにたどり着ける。
しかしヨーロッパゲートの事故の原因を。
それは私に任せて。それよりアトランティスよ、素晴らしいと思わない？存在すら定かでなかった文明、失われた大陸の美術品が手に入るの、きっと美しいわ。
ええ、考えただけでも興奮します。何かがおかしい。舞と私はもう何日も理論や公式を洗い直しているけれどまだ何もわからない。舞子はタイムゲートの一時閉鎖を主張している。ドクター玲子はもちろん反対。彼女は何が起ころうと気にしない。大事なのは美術品とアトランティス。何かとんでもないことが起こりそうな気がする。
タイムトラベルはまだ未知の領域です。安全には十分注意を払ってください。それにしても科学とは不思議なもの。タイムトラベルのエネルギー源がクリスタルなんですもの。
もう誰もいなくなった。エリカ、ドクターカヨコ、マユコ、ミキ、みんないなくなった。まだ若いのに。何度も何度も繰り返しチェックしているのに何もわからない。どこが間違ったのかしら。わからない。タイムトラベルは神の領域に踏み込んでしまったのかもしれない。タイムゲートは使ってはいけない。決して二度と。アインシュタインは 100% 正しかった。全ての時間は互いに存在し全ての可能性が起こりうるんだ。 我々は時空間に歪みを作ってしまった。みんなそこへ落ち込んだのだ。このままでは歴史が変わってしまう。22世紀さえ消えてしまう。マイと話してタイムゲートシステムを完全に破壊することにしよう。タイムゲートを破壊する公式は用意できた。それとクリスタルマトリックスを設置した。使い方もメモした。ドクター・レイコはバカじゃない。きっと調べるに違いない。今はもうレイコに。そうだ、マイならやれる。生きて生き延びてタイムゲート破壊。
I had to listen to a lot of yelling today, one way or another. Howard yelled because I was drawing some of the artifacts instead of packing them. Daedalus yelled A because of Ditto, and B because I had not finished working on the corollary for his newest interpretation of the theory. I like the theoretical work, but it seems somehow dry compared with what we're learning here. Finally, Roma yelled because I do not make regular journal entries. On the whole, not a restful day. A few more hours, and I will have finished my sketches on this series, however. Howard was beside himself when that gold and emerald necklace came through broken. It was a beautiful thing. He wants me to go to the European station and write a report on what went amiss. Well, I finished the report, and there was enough detail even to satisfy Howard. Not that it told us anything. No one admits anything. And I must admit, I was impressed with their methods in record-keeping at the European station. It seems unlikely that there was any real carelessness on their part. I'm at a loss to explain it. Still, I had an idea about improving our packing procedure. I'm going to sketch it out tonight and give it to Howard tomorrow. Worked all day in the SETI I tomb. There certainly are some magnificent things there for the collection. I am particularly drawn to the European objects, however, especially the painting, though some of the embryonic science is very interesting as well. Sometimes I think Howard only cares for gold. I had a nice chat with Cassandra tonight. We compared notes on the new packing system. She says I have a very inventive mind for a scientist. She better not let old Daedalus hear her say that. Still, she meant well. She admired some of the drawings I did while at the European station. It was kind of her, I think. I can't believe it, but Cassandra Alda disappeared today. It was horrible. She was so excited about going back to the Greek station and so full of plans for Atlantis. I can't take it in. What is happening here? More reports of stations closing. I want to go home. Why doesn't Roma make him let us go home?
ヨーロッパゲートで事故があって届いたネックレスが壊れた。もうドクター・レイコはカンカン。完全に逆上状態。確かにああなってはもう完璧な美しさは期待できない。 残念。ドクターに依頼されてヨーロッパゲートへ行ったけれど何もわからない。誰かのミスやゲートの構造に関わる原因とは思えない。美しいものを手に入れるのは難しいってことかしら。ここの迷路を探検した。奇妙な部屋が4つ。本当に不思議なところ。エリカがしつこく聞くので地図を渡した。あんなにお喜びをして。ドクターリエの考えね。彼女らしいわ。彼女は何からヒントを得たんだろう。どこかに似たような仕組みの書いてある巻物があったような。まあいっか。奇妙な部屋の謎を解くと時空間座標が出てくる。ドクターリエは手の込んだことするわね。天秤の部屋にはマヤの、オーブの部屋にはアトランティスの時空間座標が隠されてる。リエの知恵ではこんなもんね。でも一体何のために？エリカが消えたのよ。
事故はつきもの。
あんなにギリシャゲート行きを楽しみにしてたのに、アトランティスだって。ドクター、エリカはあなたの長年の夢が実現するってあんなに無邪気に喜んでたのよ。あなたね、あなたが無理に水没前のアトランティスへ行かせたのね。リエは危険だって言ってた。水没前はアクセスが。あなたが自分の説にこだわってエリカを行かせたから。
アトランティスは有史以前に存在した文明の本当のルーツなんだ。これが証明されれば歴史のすべての謎が解明される。エジプトのピラミッドもマヤもインカもすべてはっきりする。そのための犠牲になるんだったらエリカも喜ぶわ。いや、私だって喜んで。
違う、あなたは間違ってる。間違ってる。チベットゲートから誰かが消えたらしい。送った品物も消失している。今日はマヤゲートを閉鎖した。基地に帰りたい。なぜ本部は撤退命令を出さないんだ。
私のこと気が狂ったとか反逆だとか言っているみたいだけれど、そうであれば古代の遺物を収集するというこのミッション自体おかしいんだわ。でも一度始めたら最後までやり通すのが私の主義。絶対に完璧なコレクションを行うわ。誰がどんな邪魔をしてもね。私は収集隊の責任者です。あなたのラビリントスでの行動はずっとモニターしていました。でもご覧の通り私自身もどうすることもできなかったのです。クルーたちもタイムゲートが事故を起こして時空間の中に閉じ込められています。古代エジプトのメインゲートを閉鎖しない限り私たちが助かる道はありません。お願いです。私たちを助けてください。メインゲートへ戻り4つのパワークリスタルをセット。そしてパスワードを入力してください。人類のため、あなたが全てです。
I tried.
and failed. Howard is smarter than I knew, or more cunning. I was hurt. That clumsy accident at the Tutmost dig. And so I allowed Daedalus to give me something for the pain. It made me sleepy. As if nights without sleep weren't enough. But there is no excuse. When I demanded we shut down the gate, he went for me with a disruptor. None of our other weapons will function. Truly, I underestimated Howard. He was waiting for me to try it. Temujin was not here. No one has seen him in the last 2 days. I need him now. Although we've had our differences, surely he will see the situation and do the right thing. Together we will be able to overpower this madman and shut down the crystal matrix. I know Daedalus and Lantis are working on it secretly. But they will need help. I've searched every crack of this rat hole he's locked me in, and there is no way out. He's keeping me alive for some reason. But why has Temujin not found a way to let me out? Howard must have won him over. Or killed him. I find myself wishing the gate would take me to. Anything to get out of here.
Howard, this is the last time I'm going to warn you. I'm relaying this message to every view screen coded to you. Shut down the gates. Bring our people home. No artifact ever created is worth this. Our instruments indicate that the space-time continuum is being disrupted. The crystal matrix is malfunctioning, and if it isn't stopped, it could wipe out everything. Do you understand, Howard? Everything now, and in our time, and every other time. We won't exist. The collection won't exist. Time won't exist. If you don't report in before we are ready to leave, you will leave me no other choice than to solve your problem for you. As we speak, I am readying for final departure. Howard, don't be a fool. It's time to close down the gate and go home. I warned you, Howard. You have left me no alternative. I have placed a time-delayed detonator in the continuum. If the gate is not shut down in a few days, the gate, this world will be destroyed and everything on it, including you. If you hear reason and you shut down the gate, at least you will be alive somewhere in time. If not, Howard, I will obliterate the gate. Your contributions to the collection will always be remembered. Farewell.
急いで。私たちの時代はもう長い時間持ちこたえることができない。パスワードを入力できればタイムゲートが破壊できる。それであなたも私たちも助かることができるの。ただこれだけは覚えておいて。ここでの体験は誰にも喋らないこと。歴史を変えないために。さあ、ゲートの破壊を早く。
In the end, it all comes down to this. Foresight is everything. Horus and Daedalus, before they became one with the elements, thoughtfully provided me with enough information to allow me to repair what you have done. It will take time, but then again, I have time. All the time in the universe.
無事でよかった。本当によかった。プロジェクトは失敗です。タイムトラベルは人間がもっともっと成長してからのもの。神がそう警告したのかもしれない。ドクター・レイコは残念だったけど、さあみんなで地球に帰りましょう。ゆっくり過ごすのよ。はい。まさか20世紀の人間に助けられるなんてありがとう。あなたのことは永遠に忘れないわ。本当にありがとう。なんてことなの？ここはどこなの？このままでは終わらない。命尽きるまで集めてやる。そうよ、無限の時間があるんだ。私は選ばれし者。覚えてらっしゃい。いつかこの借りは返す。時間はたっぷりある。あなたがいる20世紀まで。この世にある全ての時間がね。復讐は永遠に続くのよ。
どうもご苦労様。行方不明になったという報告だったけれど、なくなった美術品はみんな元に戻ったらしいじゃない。でもセティ二世像だけはとうとう戻らなかったらしいわね。報告書は後で読ませてもらうから、とりあえず今日はゆっくり休んで。近いうちに食事にご招待しましょう。ヴィンテージワインで我が家のコレクションを眺めながら。どう？いいでしょ？曽祖母の代から収集している美術品。それは美しくってよ。ハハハハハハ。